Thank you very much for joining us again. We're talking about poltergeists in general. But now we're talking about orbs and energies of, or possibly balls of energy that can be seen and felt. Now you were saying you've actually caught a ball of light that has a shadow, but also you could see it reflecting off of a skirt board.
Well, we didn't actually catch it, unfortunately, but we have the details, we have the images. So
what do you make it? What do you make it? I mean, obviously, if it's got a shadow, it's got to be solid, so it has to be there.
It goes back to what I said previously about replication. There's so many things you can replicate. You can replicate more or less every orb that people have captured in the past. This orb, how it's manufactured, I personally have no idea.
We are talking something which is self-luminous, so it generates its own light.
How big would it be roughly? Can you
tell
the size?
Well, there was actually two side by side, and there must have been only something like that.
We're talking about sort of.
Yeah, I mean, considering the distance from the skirting board, average skirting board, about, I'd say, 3 or 4 inches, that they must have been only a couple of inches maybe away from the skirting board, and maybe the size of marble sizes,
So 3/4 of an inch maybe?
Yeah, there wasn't much size to them, but they were very, very bright. But I mean, during the Rochdale case, that Poltergeist case, we didn't really get much in the way of balls of light and things like that there. We did have an apportation that took place. Apparently, a small statuette appeared in the middle of the lounge from, we don't know where it came from. We actually talked to the family to find out eventually where that came from. It came from a place in a different room completely. So, it would to get there, to traverse there.
I mean, obviously people at home, the first thing they're going to, or there's some people at home are going to say, well, when you moved it?
Well, yeah, but the good thing is, though, we've done camera sweeps before. This is like we do in most investigations. We do camera sweeps to show where every single item is in that room. So we can go back on the tape and we say, that's where it's from. Yeah. It was on the corner.
But isn't it the most annoying thing? And it's we get it quite a lot. Is when people say, something will happen in a room, and I go, why don't you have a camera there? And you go, well. Because if we knew where the phenomenon was going to happen, trust me, we would have a camera.
The difference is, Karl, between what we do and what you do, with all due respect, yours is for TV purposes, so people can quite easily say, you've done it for TV purposes.
Ours actually isn't for TV.
But for argument's sake,
we do an investigation that's shown on the TV.
For argument's sake, we'll say that's the case. People can quite easily say, they faked it for TV purposes. On the other hand,
if they did, we'd sue them because they're wrong.
What have we got to gain from our own investigation?
A lot. You've got a lot.
There are a lot of.
You've got recognition. You get press.
Lots of people.
Yeah, but that's what we don't do. We'll only do media work if we're.
I can't argue that point. You're on here talking about it. You're on here talking about what you do.
True.
So that is a form of recognition. It's a form of.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate that.
So all of it. Everyone can throw the fraud thing at anyone else who's doing this.
I agree. But what I'm trying to say is, if there's me, Steve, 2 or 3 other members of the UPI in the group, people I trust implicitly. Then what have we got to achieve by an apport taking place, an object moving? All I'm saying is a little bit easy.
If it's going to be
it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier for
Yeah.
people to say in a media-driven organisation, it's best for them to show things that are taking place. Whereas in the UPI and Map It, we're doing the TV programme with you now.
But you are, because it's been mentioned here, it's part of this conversation, so it has been mentioned. So someone back then doing it, even if you talk about it, we are in a multimedia society, we can't help it, when we talk about internet, even if you publish any of your findings, you're on the internet, you will get that.
You've got to never do that for people to believe you more. I mean, why? Because we try and give the information out to people. We want to do that, just as you want to do that.
Exactly, and there's that point that I actually don't care what people believe or not. I know what's happened, as you guys do, but you've got to get the people at home are going to sit there and go, when you moved it? Because they don't know you. You know who you can trust, and you know who you can trust. It's the same as I do. But there's that point that they go, well, why don't you clearly moved it? Because you didn't catch it on camera, which is what we get.
Yeah, I can get with that. Yeah,
we go to every single location that we do. We do a great deal of research. We go there, we do our camera sweeps. We go there, we lock off as many cameras as we're allowed to have. The only thing we're guided by, the same as you are, is a budget. But we're given a budget from a broadcaster.
we don't have one.
But that's exactly the point. And the budgets are smaller, and they're getting less every year. So basically, your equipment goes down. But if you want to fake something, you're not going to fake that moving there. If you're going to fake something, you're going to fake King Henry VIII popping up in the corner.
Yes.
I know what you're saying about what you do, but the people at home...
And it is a growing problem, because as soon as that... I mean, we may, like you're saying, us saying it now on, for television, when we have an interesting investigation comes up and we want to share that information, we have to deal somehow with the media to do that, to distribute that information to the people.
To survive as well.
Yeah. But once we do that, we come under the scrutiny. You know, in some cases, there are people say, oh, well, you've done it for television. So how else are you supposed to get that information out? Well, we do go around the country, we perform lectures for universities, schools, conferences.
Science festivals.
We try and get that information out that way. But then they're saying that you're doing it for money.
But do you see what I'm saying about, you're saying about TV?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
But what you're doing is you're going out on using a different source. We're all ending up with in the same field. But
it is very difficult.
Different ways of getting there. Yeah. That going around talking about this to science fairs and talks to people. If you just did your investigations and you never published it, and I know no one would know about it, but you never published it and you never did this, then someone talked to you in a pub, then does that mean that your information that you get...
But also saying that, Carl, when we do that, when we've put together a case, like there's a case we're currently finishing at the moment, all that information will be put together and that will be offered to the scientific community, to the parapsychological departments and such like. Whereas some cases, we have to move on to that. That's what we're trying to do, is to support the scientific community. Most organisations won't accept the scientific community.
No, we are one of the only people who have a full report after every investigation. That regardless of what's shown, we have a full report that goes to the scientific community for them to look at. Yeah. And we've constantly had an open invitation for anyone to look at any tapes, which they do. We've had, our unedited tapes do go off to whoever wants to, any university that wants to look at them. We had a lot of, when Kieran's university was at Liverpool Hope, a lot of stuff went there to be analysed. Because if it wasn't paranormal phenomena, we wanted to know. Because at the end of the day, if something happens that we don't understand, we want to know if someone there can go, no, that's actually a triple reflection coming from the light source. Oh, right, okay, fine. I mean, you can move on. But it's that putting yourself up. As soon as you do anything and you publish anything, no matter where it be on the internet, whether it be on the TV.
For the likes of me, therefore, a person who obviously watches your programming occasionally, and other people out the UK, shouldn't you therefore make another programme away from that, showing them that side of things? Because I personally didn't have the knowledge of any of that.
Absolutely, and you won't have, because no one will watch it, according to the broadcaster.
Entertainment, they say.
But you've also got your own channel now where you can go away and do things.
I don't own the most haunted rights. If I owned the most haunted rights, yes, I would. Yeah. I would have a show after Most Haunted that would run for at least another hour, showing all of the people looking at the tapes. Yeah. But they won't do it, because at the end of the day, you have to, and that's not knocking the channel, because they have to get a certain amount of viewers in. They are not a paranormal channel. They are that fortunately have taken up certain paranormal programming to get it out there into the public domain so people can actually see.
It is a bit of a catch-22 situation, really, isn't it? Because if you want to get that information out there, you've got to somehow deal with the media. If you want to lead yourself open, people's suggestion when they watch television is, it's all fake on TV, but it's not, But
no, the problem, a lot of it is. I mean, you've got
some of the things are today, yeah.
I mean,
but then when you put something amongst it which is authentic, you're open to.
But that's why I've always said I've never cared what anyone actually thinks, because no one's there doing it with me. At the end of the day, I care about what people who are there saying. And we get things wrong. We still, after 10 years of doing it, we still, as I'd imagine you guys do, you still get things wrong in a paranormal sense. But unfortunately, we've come to the end of another show, which does seem to go very quickly, don't they? But thank you very much. I've got to go out. My producer's winding me up very quickly. We've got to go now, but thank you very much to my guests for coming in, and hopefully you'll come back soon and we'll see you again. Thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye.